Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Oh dear, these are the things that happen sometimes. Now, you can probably hear in the background a engine running. Well, it's actually a huge big water pump. Now, I am on a farm property here in the middle of nowhere, right? And I've come out here with a bit of a mission to shoot some nightscape photography. And I've found in past driving up and down this track here, an old oil drum just on the fence line over here. Now I know what the oil is there for. It's feeding this massive big water pump, which is obviously running all night here. So it's a bit of a pain as far as the audio goes, but it's not the only pain. Over in the paddock over here, there's one of those big pivots that they use to water the paddocks. Now, I don't know if it's actually being used to water at the moment, but maybe it is. There's these huge big blue flashing lights, strobe lights on, and there's two of them over there. Now, why is that a problem? Well, it's a problem because that's the direction I wanted to shoot. I've been over there on my hands and knees trying to work out a composition that somehow, whether it's a fence post or something, hides those blue flashing lights, but I don't think I can. I was going to shoot a star trail here and face due south and get the circle. Well, I think what I'm going to have to do is face more in the northwest direction. It won't give me circles, it'll give me long, elongated trails. But anyway, look, I'll take you over there and show you what I have in mind. All right, so this is the oil tank I'm talking about. Now, for those of you with a keen eye and memory, I have shot this before, and I've shot it from the other side facing down towards the southeast to capture the Milky Way galactic core as it rises up there. But that's not what I wanted tonight. I wanted to get star trails facing this way, but alas, I can't. So the pump is over here. It's a shed. Sorry about the audio, but this is what I want to shoot. It's a great old rustic subject, and I think it'll come up okay. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. So I've just got to put the camera somewhere over here, well, pretty much where this camera is now, because I don't want to shoot it end on. As far as composition goes, I'd like to get it a little bit side on. I'm going to leave the camera here for a couple of hours at least and head off somewhere else to take some more images. So I'm going to shoot this the way that I've always done it before, pretty much. I think I'll shoot 2-minute shutter speeds on this one. ISO 800, probably about f2.8, maybe f3.2 or 3.5, something like that. Because remember, they're star trails, so I don't need to overexpose. When I come back later on in a 2 or 3 hours, I'll do some fine art light painting around the scene here. Yeah, just light this up, and I think that'll come up okay. Not my original plan, but hey, sometimes you've just got to make do with the circumstances that we're confronted with. All right, so I'm going to be shooting this with the Nikon Z6 Mark II with a 14-24 f2.8 lens. I'll probably be fairly wide open near the 14mm end, but I might zoom it a fraction. I'll just have to wait and see how I go with that. So I'm just going to put it on this fairly cheap tripod, and I think that'll be okay because it's going to be close down to the ground the whole time. There's a little bit of wind, it's not excessive, and it's blowing from south to north, so it'll be coming from the back of the camera, and I don't think there's going to be a problem with that. But I am going to put a lens warmer on. It's actually getting quite cold out here, and I really need to learn my lesson about this. Now, it's still very hot weather, so we're at the beginning of March here, but it's predicted to be about 32 degrees tomorrow, but currently it's about 14 degrees, I think. I haven't looked for a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to put a lens warmer on just in case. Okay, so here's my setup. Got my camera here low down to the ground, not as low as I normally do because this is pretty high up, and the lower I get the angle to a foreground subject like this, the more distortion is introduced. So a bit of a compromise really, but anyway, I've got the camera here hard up against this fence post. That will help stop any wind or anything blowing the tripod over. I don't think it's going to happen. It's not that windy. I do have my lens warmer on. I've just taken a test shot, and 2-minute shutter speed at ISO hang on, here I am tripping over it. There's a little fence just here. This is a fence and the road's right there. So 2-minute shutter speed, ISO 800 at f3.2. That's my settings, and it's come up really, really well. So I think that's going to work fine. So I'm just going to leave it here for the next, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours, and we'll just see how we go. I'll set it going on the interval timer to go for that long. I'm going to drive off into the darkness somewhere else, and hopefully the camera's still here when I come back. Okay, I've just pulled up the car here on my way to another location to shoot, and something just caught my eye, and I've pulled over here and there's a tractor sitting right up against the fence here underneath 2 little trees. The Milky Way galactic core is right overhead. Now this is a very challenging photograph. Maybe I'm biting off more than I can chew here because the Milky Way is right in behind all of these branches of trees, and I've got to sort of poke the camera through a fence to get to it. But let me show you, and then we'll go and I'll see if I can actually make this composition work. All right, so here we are. Have a look there. There's a tractor. It looks like it's been mowing some grass or something. Lots of trees here. The reason I like it is because these trees actually frame up the tractor. Now, it's like I said, it's challenging because I can hardly even get in. I'm going to have to poke my camera through this fence here. I'm going to try and light all of this up without actually going inside the property. So I'm going to have to go down the fence line and try and light it from the front and back. But, oh man, it's about 2:30 in the morning. I'm hanging out for a cuppa, I'll tell you already. But at least it's nice and quiet here. There's no diesel engine running. So you can see I've got my camera down low here, just poking through this fence, and I was able to frame it up. I can see quite clearly with my eyes the Milky Way up there in the background. So I may just do a single shot of the Milky Way and just blend in the light painted foreground. So I've done quite a few up and down this fence line, trying to get around these trees and actually lighting the trees as well, and a bit of grass in the front here. It looks okay. It's challenging, but you know, it's part of doing this nightscape photography is to accept challenges like this and just see what we can make out of it. All right, well, I think I've got this. We're going to move on and continue on to where I was actually going. All right, well, it's just ticked over about 3:15, and yep, 3:15 on the dot. So I honestly cannot do another thing until I have a cuppa and something to eat. That is very, very thirsty and hungry work out here in the middle of nowhere, in the bush, shooting Milky Way photography. I've come across another great composition here, by the way, and I'll take you there in a minute. It's an old harvester, which I've scouted out, and it's over there in the paddock. I actually know the owner of this property, so it's okay. There's just a few sheep in there, but I'm getting a bit dry, to be honest. Just talking, it's been very, very hot and dry. You already know that here in Australia. So it's probably about 15 degrees here at the moment. It's supposed to get down a bit lower than that tonight. So maybe down to about 10 or 11, which suits me. I hate this hot weather. Anyway, the Milky Way, it's clear as a bell. Not a cloud in the sky. What have I got here? Some sort of nut biscuit. Doesn't matter. As long as I can dunk it, I am a happy boy. So let's do that. not bad. Man, oh man, it is awesome out here. It's still, calm, nothing to distract. Well, hang on. There's a bit of long grass around, could be some snakes around, but you never know. Kangaroos, I've seen a few on the side of the road. They are very distracting. But apart from that, it is just fantastic out here. Look at that Milky Way. Have a look at that. Man. So in March here in the Southern Hemisphere in Australia, Milky Way galactic core is rising in its perfect position. So it's just about there now. I'm going to get the tracker out. I'm going to use the Move Shoot Move Nomad just because it's so easy to use. So I'll get that one out. I'm going to do some tracked sky shots. I'm going to shoot the harvester machine over here in this paddock. And after that, I'll probably go back and see how those star trails are going. And that might just about do me for the night because I'm already really weary and this cup is going down well. Yeah, this is just perfect. This is exactly the type of subject matter that I love to shoot under the night sky. Now, the way this is positioned at the moment, we have the Milky Way galactic core rising up behind. It's coming across this way, up above. And so what my plan is that I'm going to be shooting tracked sky shots later on. I'm going to do the foreground first. So I'm going to shoot this here. I'm going to do my fine art light painting around here. And then I'm going to just get out into the open side here, away from any of the subject matter here. Shoot my track sky and Bob will be your uncle. Looks great. So I've just shot about 10 foreground images here because I just don't know which ones I need. Now, it's quite possible you could get away with maybe only 2 or 3, but you know, I can't come back once I've left here. So take as many shots as you need whilst you're here. So I've just lit the machine from every angle except from the angle here in front of the camera. Now, I talked to you a lot about this. Never ever light anything from the same angle as the camera. Cross light things, it always looks better that way. I shot these foreground images at f5.6 to maximize my depth of field, firstly, and secondly, to give myself a sharper image. Every lens on the market is sharper when you stop down the aperture. So f5.6, so everything's in focus. ISO 800, and I shot at 10-second shutter speed. Now, one thing when you do light painting like this, the shutter speed is somewhat irrelevant. So for example, if I only need 2 seconds worth of light, then I only need a 2-second shutter speed because I'm not capturing the background sky. I'm only capturing the foreground here. The background sky is going to be my tracked sky shot, which I'm going to take soon. So I've got this in the bag. I'm going to go away from this area now, get away from the tree and anything else. There's a tree over here, and the machine, and do my tracked sky shots. Oh, this is going to come up so well. So I've got the Move Shoot Move tracker out here, set up, pointing up there at the sky. I'm shooting 90 seconds, f2.8, ISO 800, and the images are looking absolutely fantastic. Really good. So there's no issues with star trailing or anything like that. I've just taken a few different ones just to make sure I can line up the Milky Way over the top of the old harvester the way it should be, but it is beautiful. The wind, there was a little bit of wind earlier, but it's died right down, and I am really enjoying it out here under the stars, and why wouldn't you? Okay, so I've finished tracking, got some excellent shots there. So what I'm going to do now is get back to the other camera, which will have finished by now, the star trails. And I'm hoping, well, yeah, there should be still plenty of night time because it's about 4:30. So it's getting, you know, it's getting late in the evening. And I've got to do that light painting on that tank back there. So let's get back there. All right, so I'm back here at the noisy diesel engine pump over there. I apologize once again, but I've come back. I'm looking at these shots and they all look fantastic. So the star trails are going to go across the sky like this. So it's not a complete circle because I'm facing north here in the southern hemisphere. So I'm going to get that sort of oval shaped star trails, which I haven't done a whole lot of before. So it's going to be interesting just to see how that works out. I shot these at 120 seconds, 2-minute shutter speed, f3.2, ISO 800. So now I've just stopped my aperture down to f5.6, 10-second shutter speeds at ISO 800. I'm going to do some light painting and then I am done and dusted. And I'm going to hit the road and get home. Okay, well, that's it. That is a wrap for the night. I am very pleased with what I've got. I'm not pleased with that racket going on in the background, but it's okay. The farmer is doing what the farmer has to do. But I want to thank you guys for following along tonight. It's been a little bit disjointed, but you know, I think I don't mind in some way because I had a plan. I knew I wanted to come here and I knew I wanted to go to that other spot, but that tractor in halfway along, that was one out of the box, I can tell you. But anyway, I'm going to show you all of the images now that I shot here tonight. If I happen to see anything along the way home that grabs my fancy, and that does happen occasionally, I'll throw that one in too. But in the meantime, you guys have a great week. I'll see you in the next video. See you later.